Okay, for today, the new thing is finishing off box plots. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you get the basics. Mean is not like, oh, she's so mean. It's mean is average. So if you want to call somebody Average, average in a sneaky way, you can just say, yeah, you're mean. And then you're actually just saying you're average. Okay, average is add them all up and divide by how many there are. Now, next thing I just realized, you're probably going to want a calculator. I'm going to pause for a second when we do that. Okay, so you've got your calculator now. So I know this is one you probably could have added up in your head, but would you please take a moment and add this up either in your head or with the calculator? And then what are we going to divide by? 5 is correct. I'm going to pause for a moment. All right, so we added them all up. It adds to 20 because that makes 10. And then 5 plus those two make another 5. 10 and 10 makes 20. Anyway, either way, they all add up to 20. Now, that is not the average. But then I take that and what did you say? You were right. Divide by 5. And you get what? Equals 4. Our average is 4. Now, do you get that it's in the center of our data?
Yeah.
That's why we call this stuff measures of central tendency. I know it's a really complicated name, but basically the 5 is kind of in the center of our numbers. Now, that's different, though, than the median. The median, M-E-D-I-A-N, means the middle. The middle of our set of numbers. The middle one is obviously the 4. Can you be the mean and the median at the same time? Yes. It just means it's even more central in your set of numbers. But sometimes the middle one isn't the average. How could I have changed that? What if this had been like a 60 at the end? Do you have that bring our average way up? And yet the middle number would still be a 4. And so the median is actually better than the mean a lot of times because the median doesn't get thrown off when you put in a big number. But the average goes off. Like, for instance, they say that Michael Jordan's graduating class in college, his graduating class in college made more on average than any other class in, like, history. They made more money than average. Was he in this amazing class? No, he brought the average up so much. He made so much money because he's one of the best professional basketball players of all time, and he made so much money that he brought the average up single-handedly. If you get in a room like this, all of you guys, let's say one of you guys is stashing $600 in rolled up $100 bills in your wallet, okay, or in your pants pocket. So you've got $600, and everybody else has got more normal amounts, like, I don't know, $5 or maybe 10. Somebody's got a 20. Somebody's got nothing. But do you get that 600 would throw off the average? Do you know what that 600 is called then? I don't know if Mr. W taught you that on Friday. An outlier, that's correct. If you're way above everybody else or way below everybody else, you're an outlier. Like, let's say you go into the Millionaires Club at Target Field, and you're like hanging out with all these millionaires. Do you get how I would throw off? I'd be an outlier on the bottom side of that because all these high roller guys, with millions of dollars in the bank account, I would throw off the average because I may have much less than them. All right, so anyway.
You actually been in the Millionaires Club?
I haven't actually. Have you? Have you had a chance to, like, there is fancy, like, boxes, like, around different stadiums that are super expensive. Like, when you walk in there, there's always, like, for a football game, the people that are really, really rich buy those boxes, and then they can have, like, 12 of their close friends come, and there's always, like, food out, and, yeah, there are, like, really ritzy places to watch the football games or the baseball games. All right, so anyway, the mean and the median are two of our big things, and then the mode is an easy one, but in this case, it's kind of weird. I'm going to get that 60 out of there because we don't really want that. That's an outlier. Throwing it out. We can do that actually too. In data, if you have a number that's so far away from all the others, you can actually throw it out. It's called throwing out the outlier. Okay, the mode is the one that happened the most. Can you tell me, of my data set, what happened the most? Kind of a trick question, isn't it? None of them happened the most. But you don't want to say 0 because that would imply 0 happened the most. See you say none. That is correct. All right. And then the last kind is range. And the range is, I think you guys remember this, the big one and then
The small one.
and the small one. What do we do with the big and the small?
4
Yes, it's 6 and
minus
2, and you subtract them and it's 4. You're correct.
What is the
You do biggest minus smallest. 6 minus 2. Answer in this case. Look at that. 4 is the range, and it's also the median, and it's also the mean. I made an interesting set of numbers there. All right. Yes, sir.
What is the mode again?
Mode is the one that happened the most. So mode is most. If you can get a one word for each of these down, mean is average, median's the middle, mode is most, and range, I guess it's going to be hard to say big minus small as one word, but that's what you do for the range is the big minus the small. All right. Now, what he was trying to teach you on Friday was about a box plot, and I'm going to show you one in the context of, like, let's say a test. Because this, I think, makes the most sense to people, because you get test scores can range, right? And let's say that the highest score possible would be 100, but on our test, there was a 99 here, and there was an 81 here, and let's say there's an 86 here, and a 90 here. Now, do you get, if this is all of my data, I can tell a ton from this? I can tell right away that the kid who got the most points got 99 out of 100. And does that seem possible on a big test? Yeah, there's always somebody who gets really good scores. I mean, you know, in our class, I'll leave the people unnamed, but there's a few of you that often get like 95s, and there's been a few hundreds given out. So yeah, there could be somebody got a 99. How about this? From this picture, you can see quickly right away who got the lowest score. What was the lowest score? 81. Now those are the no-brainer ones, biggest and the smallest, that's easy. But what are these guys? And what would be in between them? Well, those are all middles. They're all medians. Let me explain it. The median is like what's in between in the middle of all of our data. And that would be, in this case, let's say it's about 88-ish, something like that. Then that was the middle number from all of our tests. And this is the middle of the bottom half. That one's the middle of the bottom half. And this is the middle of the top half. Okay, so that's how you make a box plot. All right, one more thing about this that's kind of cool. Once you have a box plot, you have something very powerful. You know where this is the top 25% of our scorers. This is the bottom 25%. From 86 to 81, they're the bottom scorers. They did the worst, okay? Then we got people at the top, obviously did the best. This is our top 25. Here's our bottom 25. And how about this middle section, the whole box thing? That can't be 25, please don't think that. What is it? Yes? 50. That's the middle 50%. All right, and if I wanted to divide them in half? Do you get it divides right on this line? And so this would be 25% from here to here. And this would be 25% from here to here. It divides them into 4 quarters. Do you get why they're called quartiles? Because quart, you know, 4, there's 4 quarts in a gallon. Anyway, 4 and quart and quad and all those Q words, okay, those are 4 parts. All right, so here's a new one. And I want you to tell me, from this box plot, if I asked you, here's a box plot, what is the max? I'm going to call it A. You don't have to even write max, just write A on your paper. I want you to tell me the max. B, I want you to tell me the min. C, I want you to tell me Q1, and I think somebody's going to know where that is. Don't say it, please. And then I'm going to ask for D is Q3, and E is the median, also known as, who's got the one-word summary for median? What does median mean again?
The middle.
Middle. All right. There's A, B, C, D, and E. There's 5 numbers, and there's 5 things on the board. I hope you can figure out which ones are which. I'll pause for a second while you give that a try. Yes, you're on a roll. 40 is Q1. Q1 goes here, and then from that, can you kind of logically guess which one Q3 is?
44.
I wouldn't go from Q1 right to Q3, would I? Yeah, it's over here.
47.
This one's Q3. So that's 47. And then the one we left to last was the median, the middle, and it is what? 44. Now, let's say you got exactly a 44. Does that mean you were better than most of the kids, worse than most of the kids, or right exactly in the middle?
Right exactly in the
Right
middle.
exactly in the middle. Okay. What if you got, hold on, what if you got a 49?
You were
You were the top. What if you got, listen now to this one, what if you got a 40?
you were the top.
You're in the bottom 25%. You're at the top end of the bottom 25%. Very good. All right. And this is the part where you can use the facilities first, and you're going to go next. He asked before you, so it's only fair. All right. He actually did. All right. And then in the back corner, tell me which numbers would represent the middle group. Oftentimes, people say that the kids in the middle get ignored the most. The middle group. Yep. The middle 50% of the data. Yeah, from what to what was the middle group? 40 to 47. That is correct. And I don't know if that's a correct statement or not about they get ignored, but you get, if you're like a top, everybody pays attention to you because like, oh, they're the best, right? And like if you're even on a football team or whatever, the guys that are the best, everybody pays attention to them. The guys that are the worst, everybody knows who the guys that are the worst are. You know, like maybe, I don't know, they shouldn't make fun of them or whatever, but they might say, oh, he's really bad or whatever. But the people in the middle, they kind of get lost in the middle. My daughter's a middle child, one of them, and she says that the middle child always gets ignored because the oldest child gets all the attention because they're going to college first and whatever, and then the youngest child gets all the attention because they're the youngest child and they get spoiled, but the people in the middle get ignored. So anyway, the middle, how many of you guys are middle children? I'm curious. Ooh, a lot of middle children in here. Any first children in here? They're like the oldest? And how about the babies of the group? Nobody? Nobody is the youngest child?
I'm the middle.
Really interesting. Okay. Good. All right. I'm going to hand out a worksheet and we will start it together. All right, so we're back and the kids have the worksheet called Box and Whisker Day 2. Now at the top of the page, there is a box and whisker, and it looks to me like it's got a box and it's got whiskers sticking out at each end. And it looks to me like there's a 39 at the top, and then there's what's at the bottom? Help me out. I have a hard time reading. What's the very, very bottom one? 22. And how about the 3 that are in the middle? Go from Q1 to Q3 in order. 25. 34. 36. Awesome. Thank you very much. Now, here's the first question. Well, number 1, there's no number 1. That's confusing me. Does it actually ask anything there?
No.
Okay, so there's no number 1. Number 2, find the median. Oh, which one's the median? Only one of these is the true median. The middle, which is 34. Good. So part A is 34. Part B. Problem 2. Find the max. Oh my gosh, this is too easy. It's almost insulting. Max is 39. You are correct. Number 3. It says find the range. No, I'm wrong. That's right. It's 2. These are renumbered. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so problem 4 we're on now. Find the range. The range of the data is, well, what do I do? What's range again? Nope. Subtract which ones? Biggest and the smallest. So, what is the biggest? 39 minus what is the smallest? And I'll let you do the math on that to figure out the range. Okay.
39 minus 22.
That's all you got to do. All right, now let's look. I think you can handle number 5. That's really easy. Let's move on to number 6. They're on the board. We started on the...
We started on number what, 2?
Oh, I didn't even see this.
All right. I'm going to pause for a second. Here we go. Look at number 7 with me. It says, what's the median of each set of data? Well, wait a minute. They don't have any numbers on them. You just got to look down at the number line. Okay? So do you see that the median is right in the middle of that number line, and it is a what? 70 is correct. Good. All right, on to number 8. Which plot has the lesser range? Well, the range is the big minus the small.
Right.
One of them's got a bigger range when you actually subtract the big minus the small. So you might need a calculator to subtract them, but that's what you're going to do. 100 minus 40 is one of them. What's the other range? 100 minus... Well, see, there's 2 graphs in the same spot.
Oh, no.
The top little one is 100 minus 50. The other one's 100 minus 40. And it won't be too tough to tell which one has the lesser range.
Okay.
All right, so the rest of the time is work time on the worksheet. That's all I got for you for today. Hold on, I figured out one more thing I didn't tell you. I was going on the recording, so everybody listen. There's something called the interquartile range. It's like this range where you just subtract these, except you do it with the quartiles. So do you get, since these are the quartiles, you would just subtract those two? Those two would give you your interquartile range. If you want to feel smart tonight, tell them, well, I was dealing with interquartile range today in my math class. So when they ask about interquartile range, it's just this number minus this number, because this is the Q3 and this is the Q1, the bigger minus the smaller, right? So that one minus that one. That's how you do interquartile range. And that's really all I have for the video for today.